Hey guys, it's Phil coming back at you another video. Today, I'm back. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. Hopefully everyone's doing well, practicing self-care, doing the next right thing, not letting one thought, one situation, one person take them outside of what they know to be true, but also identifying ways to improve yourself in some way, shape, or form, not following somebody else's timeline, not putting yourself up against somebody, but staying focused on what you need to be doing with and for your situation, and not letting somebody else's experience dictate what you should be doing, staying focused on what you need to be doing. In this video, I'm going to be going over the free study group that I'm doing this Saturday on the 5th, and I'm going to be laying the hammer as much as I possibly can. And if you've never been in a free study group of mine before, what that looks like is I'm bringing people that have passed their exams and sharing their experience of how they went inside of the exam, kicked it directly in the chest to get the job done, while also interacting with you. If you're struggling to pass your exam, you're looking for motivation, you're looking for tips, you have questions on how to even start beginning preparing, this Saturday's group on the 5th, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, is what you're going to be wanting to attend. But before I get into how to register for that, because I know a lot of times people struggle registering for the sessions, I want to identify the Sunday study groups that are coming up, as well as the one-day course, and then we'll get into how to register for the session this Saturday, the 5th, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're like, man, Phil, I want to rep and rock with you as well, the Sunday study groups are the easiest way to be able to do that. And before I get into the Sunday study groups, just to identify, they're not to memorize the information, but giving you ways to recognize and apply the information to go inside of the exam, to kick it directly in the chest, to get the job done. So the Sunday study groups are paid study groups, and the next ones that are coming up are as follows. 2.6, ethics. So we're going over the code of ethics, identifying not just buzzwords, but identifying what are the key things that you should keep in mind, and what are some ethical situations that you should be able to identify, the difference between a subpoena and versus a court order, as well as going over practice questions related to those. 2.13, DSM-5 adults. We're going over the personality disorders, the schizophrenia spectrum, the differences between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 disorder, as well as the medications, and going over the practice questions related to those. 2.20 is going to be bringing practice questions out. So if you've been in a session related to practice questions before, these are not going to be the same questions. And if you're coming into the session to gauge how well you're doing, or wanting to get all of these correct, do not come into the session with that mentality, because these practice questions tend to be harder than the actual exam and are building you and molding you into a best test taker that you possibly can be. So the best test taker that you possibly can be by pushing and molding you. And I do write difficult questions because I'd rather have you go through difficult situations outside of the exam rather than it being a difficult situation inside of the exam and getting yourself kicked directly in the chest and not getting the job done. In 2.27, research, program development, and evaluation. So going over the different types of research, the stages of research, the stages of program development, and the stages of program evaluation, and going over practice questions related to those. And those are on Sundays starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're not able to attend the session live, that's not an issue, because if you register for the session, you're going to be sent the recording and the documents to review at your own leisure. So if you're not able to attend, it's not an issue. And if you want any information related to those, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com, or click the link in the description down below, which is the view more or show more under the title of the video, as well as I still do offer individual tutoring. So if you want a direct session with me, and a lot of times people want individual tutoring sessions to review practice questions to identify what the process particularly looks like, I do still offer individual tutoring, but my sessions tend to book out 3 to 4 weeks in advance. So keep that in mind when scheduling. But if your exam is sooner than that, you can send me an email at berda24@gmail.com, and I'll add you to the tutoring waiting list just in case somebody cancels their tutoring session. And if you want any information related to tutoring, you can send me an email at berda24@gmail.com, or click the link down below in the description, which is, again, the show more under the title, as well as I'm bringing it back, the one-day course, so the first one-day course of the year. And the one-day course has been the most successful thing that I've introduced, based on the fact that it's helped a bunch of social workers going to the exam to kick it directly in the chest. So the next one-day course is going to be on 2.12. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday from 11 a.m. Eastern time until whenever they kick us out, p.m. Eastern time. And they can't kick us out because I'm the host, and I don't really have an end time on it because the session tends to go until as long as we particularly need. And the content tends to end around 9:30 or 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then there's a question and answer segment similar to the Sunday study groups, of where if you want to directly interact with me, you're not feeling super duper motivated, or you just have any questions, you can definitely have that. And if you're like me, and what's the one-day course? I want to attend it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Well, the one-day course topics are the tips I found most helpful for people to go into the exam and pass, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done, the most common reasons why people fail, and it's important to learn from the things that people have done that have caused them to fail, so that way you don't make the same mistakes, breaking down a handful of topics, difference between subpoena versus a court order, when to refer versus when to seek supervision, operant conditioning, the personality disorders, the stages of community organizing, the medications, not memorizing, but identifying ways to be able to recognize and apply them, going through the 5-step process that I recommend people to utilize on every single question, going over each level of the acronym, and then breaking down 25 practice questions to tie it all together to prepare you to go inside of the exam to kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And similar to the Sunday study groups, live attendance is not 100% required, because as long as you register for the session, you'll receive the recording and the materials to review at your own leisure. There's not an expiration date on those. So keeping that in mind when you're planning to do these things, because I know it's unrealistic to attend the entire session, but I know a lot of times people have one-day courses or they have seminars and things, and they're not recorded, and you just have to be able to remember every single thing. But that's not the case here, because I want you to be as successful as you possibly can to go inside of the exam to kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And if you've been liking my videos, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. It allows for other amazing social workers just like you to identify and find my videos. Leave a comment down below if you're planning to attend the session or something positive, because I don't know about anybody else, but the comments are something that I definitely read, because it helps me pick me up when I'm feeling low, or if I am not sure if what I'm doing is actually making a difference. As well as, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification next to it, because it'll notify you of every single video that I upload. And if you haven't already, check out my podcast at Fill in the Gaps on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. And it's amazing how many people have been repping and rocking with me. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And again, before I get into how to register the free study group this Saturday, it's for those that are looking to identify ways to improve their preparation, ways to get motivation, as well as hearing from those that have passed the exam, went directly in there with anxiety, with stress, with lacking confidence, but still kicked it directly in the chest to get the job done. So if you're expecting it to cover a ton of content or a ton of practice questions, this is not the session for you. That is going to be the Sunday study groups, but there are going to be some practice questions as well. Or if people ask about particular content, then I'll cover it. But I do not want to paint the picture that the Sunday study groups are going to be the absolute same as this free study group, because they are going to be different. So if you're interested, click the link down below in the description, which again is the view more under the title, or go to fillinthegaps.me, which is going to be the same link, and then it should bring you to my calendar. So once you do that, it will look something like this. So once you go to the calendar, it's going to give you a list. So do not click individual tutoring sessions, because that will be my individual tutoring calendar, but all the other sessions are on this link as well. So you click the free study group, and then you'll set your time zone. So if your time zone is different than Eastern time zone, but the biggest thing that a lot of times people will not complete is you have to click set time zone. Then it'll direct you to the calendar. The only session available will be the one on the 5th. You'll hit add time, hit continue. You'll enter your name. My name is Philip Luttrell, also go by Phil, as well as my email, if you do not know, is berda24@gmail.com. But before hitting complete appointment, ensure your email is the correct email, because if not, you're not going to receive the reminder or initial confirmation email, and you will not be able to attend the session. But after you do that, a complete appointment, and this is going to be the link for the session. So if you get to this page and you want to ensure that you have it, all you have to do is click copy, paste, and then, or click it and then copy this link, and this is going to be the link to the session. And if you want to copy it into another link, you 100% can do so. And this is how you're going to register. And again, making sure that whatever email that you are identifying is the one that you are okay with having sent the reminder emails, because there's going to be 24-hour and 1-hour reminder emails. So again, making sure that your email is 100% okay. But if you do not receive the initial confirmation, drop me a shout. I'll try 100% to ensure that you're able to attend the session if you want to. And again, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you. So do not let one thought, one situation, one person, one program, anything. So if you're getting ready to go inside of your exam, do not let one concept that you think is going to be on the exam, or do not let one question when you're inside of the exam take you outside of what you know to be true. You've been practicing, you've been putting in the repetitions. And again, a lot of times people say practice makes perfect. That's not it. Practice makes permanent. Whatever you practice every single day, whether it's just something super duper small, is going to be solidified at some capacity. So if you're negatively self-talking to yourself, or you're degrading yourself, or bringing yourself down, or telling yourself you are going to fail the exam, that is what's going to end up manifesting within your situation of, man, I'm feeling negative, or I'm not feeling ready to go into the exam. But what have you practiced leading up to this exam? So again, that's why I always say, do not let anything take you outside of what you know to be true. Because as long as you're improving, if you separate the word improve, it'll say, I am proving. You are proving to yourself that you are doing the right decisions for yourself. Do not let anybody outside of your system or inside of yourself tell you what you're capable of. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope to see you this Saturday for the free study group. I hope to see you in the Sunday study groups. I hope to see you in individual tutoring. I hope to see you in the one-day course. And if you need anything from me, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com. I'll see you guys in the next video. In peace out, guys.